So let's have a look at the Vosburg. It's a grade three. It's always a nice race at the championship meet at Belmont this year at the Big A Aqueduct. It's the ninth race. It's 7 furlongs for 3-year-olds and up. And I love these 7 furlong races. They're always a lot of fun because you have so many, that added distance. It's just so hard to win it like a normal sprint. From this field, we got a couple for Belmont, Scotland, and Baby Yoda. This is in Saratoga, so we'll see what we get with him. Dean Delivers, who's on a four stakes winning streak, has been kind of a different horse since he's been with Ed Howard. We've got Saffy Joseph with a couple with Comedy Town and Lord Miles, the Wood Memorial winner, so he's coming back here. Then we've got the shipper from South America, Mufasa, who's had a couple of starts in the States. First one was kind of just getting your feet wet, but the second one with 7 furlongs was a pretty impressive effort. And then you got Sevens 11, who was going to run in the Park Sprint last week, but scratched out to run in this, and I would consider that to be a pretty good sign. 7 furlongs definitely a preferred distance for Sevens 11. So we take a look at this field, and I'm not sure Mufasa is going to be on the lead, but they categorize him as an E. I would imagine he probably ran on the front end in South America just because the competition was not quite up to his caliber. He had 5 wins down there at 7 furlongs, so the distance isn't a problem. Liked his last effort. I thought it was pretty impressive. He won very professionally, drawing off. This is a step up in class, but I think it was a good primer, and provided he can take another step forward, I think he's a good fit here, and I like him in this spot. Sevens 11, again, has scratched out of a couple of stakes races to run here, and the interesting thing is the purse was bigger in the Park Sprint than in this one. That was $300,000. This is $250,000. So I would say that to me is more about the distance than it is anything else. And Sevens 11 is a very solid at 7 furlongs. This is a little bit of a step up class wise, but he's been a good performer. The General George, I believe, he took down, and that's a grade 3 at Laurel. So I think he's a very good fit here, and should be sitting just off the leaders. And if he's got enough, he's very live in here. We'll see what kind of price we get. Dean Delivers, since Ed Howard has taken over, this horse has just been on a tear. He's won 4 ungraded stakes in a row. The last one in particular was really a top-notch effort, I thought. He was doing all the heavy lifting up on the lead, started to back up a little bit, and then re-rallied to win. I just thought it was a really nice, gritty performance. This horse showed some flashes last year, but he could never quite finish off a race. I think this year at 4 years old, he's managing his speed much better than he did before, and he's certainly a fit here. My concern is that there will be some company up and near the lead, and I'm not so sure at 7 furlongs that he'll be able to hang in there. But I do think he's good enough to stay in the money, and Dean Delivers, to me, is a very good fit here. Baby Yoda, he's a horse for the course of Saratoga. We know that. And even at Saratoga, aside from his, I believe his win in the Vanderbilt, it was. I can't remember which stakes race, but he had a couple subpar efforts after that. And you just can't like him coming into this race. He has won at Aqueduct before, I believe. But I think he's kind of along for the ride. He might even be a rabbit for Scotland. It's not like Belmont to do something like that, but I wouldn't be surprised because what other use could this horse have in this race? His form just isn't very good. Comedy Town is a horse that's done very well down at Gulfstream, but I'm very reticent to get interested in horses who come from Gulfstream. They don't ship well. They haven't been lately. Saffy Joseph did very well at Saratoga. He's doing very well at Aqueduct. But I think this one seems to me a cut below some of the better in here, and particularly at 7 furlongs, which, as we know, is a taxing distance. I think the step up in class might be a little too much, so I'm going to let him go. Scotland, I wasn't keen on this horse last year, even after he won the Curlin. He bombed out in the Travers, and I think he just, he's just not a top-notch two-turn stakes caliber performer. However, he seems to be much more comfortable at one turn. It is a little troubling to me when Bill Mott has a horse, keeps them in class in like the optional claimer class for more than one race, because that tells me he's still trying to get the kinks out, work on this horse. But that last race was awesome. And let me tell you, that race at Saratoga, if you go back and watch it, that was a top-notch field, a creative General Jim. That played like a Grade 3 stakes race. And he won for fun. I mean, at the top of the stretch, he just blew that field away to the point where he was geared down at the finish. Coming off the bench, he's going to be firing fresh. Hasn't run since July. I really like Scotland, particularly at 7 furlongs. And the fact that he does have root level stamina, you always got to love that, particularly if there's a really hot pace. That should play right into Scotland's hands, and I really like him in this spot. Lord Miles, they're cutting him back to one turn. He hasn't been very good. Even after the Wood Memorial score, he bombed out in the Derby. He just really hasn't been a very good horse. He hasn't progressed at all. And I think this is sort of a move of trying to get him going, trying to do something with him. Certainly having the two-turn stamina will be a plus, but he hasn't shown the top end where I think that he could take this one down. And I'm not so certain from this field that you're going to see lickety-split fractions that are going to help a late runner like Lord Miles. Maybe they'll change his running style and get him up near the pace, but he is kind of a wild card. I mean, I could see him at a price getting him in the mix, but to me, he'd be more of a trifecta type of performer, just given the track record of some of the other prime contenders in here. So for our wagering strategy, we're going to bet Scotland. Hopefully, the price will still be decent. I think Dean Delivers and Mufasa might be the chalk in here, so hopefully we'll get a decent price. And then we're just going to do a 2-1 cold exacta, 7's 11, this being his preferred distance that he likes the most. And the fact that he's scratched out of other races, I think that's a really good sign. And I look for him to be very prominent in this race. Then we'll do a cold 2-6 with Mufasa, who I think is also very stout for this one. And then we'll key box 2 with 1-6. If you want to throw one in for Dean Delivers, that's okay. I mean, I could see it. But the only reason I'm not is that I have a feeling that given that last effort was a tough one, and he's had 4 stakes races in a row, none of which have been a layup, that maybe stepping up in class here might be a little much for him, but he's certainly one to keep in the mix. And if you want to add him into a key box, I don't blame you. And then we'll do for a trifecta 2 on top with 1-4-6. I don't want to go too crazy in this race because really, you want to throw Lord Miles into the trifecta. I could see it. I'm just trying to be economical and just be really resolute. The horse that I like the most, obviously, is Scotland. I think this is going to be a very competitive race, and there's certainly a few ways to go here. But I think Scotland, to me, looks like the cream of the crop. So hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. Wish you the best of luck as always. And be on the lookout for more postings for Belmont and Aqueduct, or back, or the Big A, whatever you want to call it. We've got a couple out there already. I think we're going to have one more for the stakes races. We'll also try to get a couple in for Churchill and the California Crown out at Santa Anita. And if we can find a good pick 5 sequence, we'll certainly add one of those in as well, time permitting. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.